Howdy y'all, Jackson here with Ictric Studios, and I'm back with another edition of the Historic College Football Playoff, this one for the 1991 to 1992 season. Who will come out on top? Will Washington prove their worth as national champion? Or will Miami prove they were more deserving? Or perhaps even Michigan or Florida will use this opportunity to avoid bowl losses and make a run at glory? Let's find out. Let's start things off in the Louisiana Superdome, as the Sugar Bowl matchup features the number 1 Washington Huskies and the number 4 Florida Gators. Washington would take the early lead with this field goal. Florida would respond with 6 though, as Eric Redd would find his way into the end zone. The lead would be short-lived though, as Washington would return the ensuing kickoff for a touchdown of their own. On their next drive, they would expand their lead, as Ben O'Brien would take this handoff in for a long touchdown run. At the beginning of the second, Florida would finally find themselves back on the board with this field goal. Washington, however, would march right back down the field and cap off their drive with another long touchdown run. Florida would then respond with a drive of their own, capping it off with this quarterback sneak. Washington would then put this field goal through as the first half came to a close. Florida would put one through of their own on their first drive of the second half, returning it to a one-score game. Washington, however, would move the ball down the field quickly, before powering it into the end zone on this quarterback sneak. Florida would counter quickly as Shane Matthews rolled to his right and fired a strike to Harrison Houston, returning the Husky lead to 7. The Gator onside kick would fail, and the Huskies would take advantage, capping off their short drive with this Bryant touchdown run. The Washington Huskies beat the Florida Gators 41-27 to advance to the Cotton Bowl and a shot to prove they were indeed the national champion. We now find ourselves in Miami, Florida, for the Orange Bowl, as the number 2 Miami Hurricanes take on the number 3 Michigan Wolverines. Michigan would receive the opening kickoff before marching right down the field and letting Ricky Powers power his way into the end zone for 6. Miami would respond though, as Stephen McGuire would take this handoff and run right through some Michigan defenders at the goal line to tie things up. After a defensive stop, they would capitalize, kicking this field goal to take a 3-point lead. Michigan would then respond in the second though, as Elvis Grauback would use play action before firing a deep pass to Desmond Howard for a touchdown. Michigan would then tack on another second quarter touchdown as Powers would find the end zone yet again. Miami would finally counter as the half was coming to a close with this field goal. On their first drive of the second half, Gino Torretta would hit Lamar Thomas on a screen pass on the 1, and he'd plow over a defender to cut the Wolverine lead to 1. Michigan would respond right back though, as Powers would receive a pitch and run his way through multiple Hurricanes defenders on his way to a 22-yard touchdown run. McGuire and the Hurricanes won't go down without a fight though, as he finds the end zone to cut the lead to 2. They'd then line up for a 2-point conversion, and Torretta would utilize play action before rolling to his right and finding Coleman Bell at the back of the end zone to knot things up at 28. In the fourth, Miami would take their first lead of the day, as they nailed this field goal. With 7 seconds left and inside the red zone, Michigan looks for one last shot at victory, as Grauback fires a pass to Howard in the end zone, who makes a circus catch for the win. Michigan pulls out the win 35-31 to advance to the Cotton Bowl against the number 1 Washington Huskies. Hello and welcome to the Cotton Bowl National Championship, as the number 1 Washington Huskies take on the number 3 Michigan Wolverines, who will be able to claim the national title. Washington would start the scoring in the first on this quarterback sneak. Ricky Powers in the Wolverines offense would respond though, as he would find the end zone himself to knot things up at 7. In the second, Washington would break the short scoring drought with this field goal. They would then tack on another as the half came to a close. Michigan, however, would come out swinging to start the second half, as they would march right down the field and get Jesse Johnson into the end zone for a 1-point lead. Washington would respond with a long drive of their own, ending in this field goal to reclaim the lead. They'd then expand their lead in the fourth as Billy Joe Hobert utilizes play action before firing a touchdown strike to Mario Bailey. Washington wins it 23-14 to prove they were indeed the true national champion. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Historic College Football Playoff. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. If you didn't or your team lost, feel free to leave a dislike. And please subscribe if you have not already. Thanks again. Bye.